who feel that they could not be comfortable with the things I see. They can't dispute it as fact, but the fact that they're not comfortable with it, I want to go about saying all kind of things about me and hope that will make me pardon. I'm going to respond to them by name and number. Or they don't miss that, right? Or they don't miss it. And by the way, don't get no mobby, get coffee. Because it's going to be a long, hot summer this afternoon. You know what I'm saying?
I have under scrutiny, who plotting mutiny, and I watching them. I say I watching them. Who giving the captain lip, and all who abandon ship, and I'm marking them. I say I'm marking them. Stowaways, keeping free passage, castaways with excess baggage, crimson pirates moving in to kill, but I'm sailing still. I say I'm sailing still. I'm sailing with the boat, sink or float. I'm sailing with the boat. I'm sailing with the boat, sink or float. I'm sailing with the boat. Through hurricane and storm, hell or high water come. And when she needs a push, I'm going to push like push. If Trinidad is a boat, I go sail on it, sink or float.
Yeah, well, thanks, sir. That's our next big one. Yeah. It's 4 o'clock, and we have to go to News Center 5 at 4. Our news presenter is here. I don't know why she's hiding. I don't know why she took that seat.
She's not hiding. She's just collecting her thoughts. Yeah.
That's necessary at times.
She's not hiding.
You know, this is theater, you know.
And she'll be in the
So
spotlight.
you have to
shortly.
prop and
as soon as
focus.
As soon as you
Come
go,
and do what you
you got to go, right?
So I got to go.
You got to go, Darius.
Only I got to go.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, stay tuned for the 4:30, 5 o'clock hour and get your coffee. Don't eat nothing. And tune in for Citizen Diary at 5 to 6. Or you'll get a chance to call in too. But I put on my war paint now. I just telling on you. We go to the Center 5 at 4.
With Miss
Monica
James.
Yeah, man.
I'm sailing with the boat, sink or float. I'm sailing with the boat.
News Center 5 at 4 is brought to you by
TWCU, our credit union. One family.
Attention, all valued members and stakeholders of TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society. We're excited to announce our relocation to a brand new address, 105 to 107 Henry Street, Port of Spain. This move reflects our commitment to growth and providing you with the best possible service. Our new location offers a modern, member-focused experience in a convenient central spot. Please update your records with our new address. And don't worry, our contact information stays the same. For more details, call us at 623-4444 or email us at info@twcu.co.tt. TWCU Credit Union. Our credit union, one family.
Broadcasting from Port of Spain, Trinidad. This is the most influential name in radio. I-95.5. Live local coverage you can depend on. This is News Center 5 at 4.
A former Attorney General says the EMBD's ruling is a wake-up call for contractors and employers. An investigation is launched after viral video shows security operations of 2 coastal patrol units. A father is found guilty of incest, the victim, his daughter. And internationally, Israel's allies condemn the banning of the UN's Palestinian Refugee Agency, UNRWA. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to the news at 4. I am Unika James. Former Attorney General Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj SC believes the Privy Council's ruling in the EMBD case should serve as a lesson to all contractors and their employers. The Estate Management and Business Development Company Limited, which is made up of several contracting companies and individuals, including opposition MP Dr. Rudal Munilal, sought among other things to recover the appropriate aggregate sum of $275 million together with interest. However, the Privy Council on October 8th ruled that the 12 contracts were void and or unenforceable for illegality. Hence, the matter will now proceed to trial before Justice Frank Sipasad. Expounding on the facets of the judgment today, Senior Counsel Maharaj is of the view that the public purse has been saved.
The terms of this judgment should make government and state-owned companies consider taking measures to put administrative measures and infrastructure in place to ensure that claims made by contractors, when properly assessed and show that there is no defense to the claim, the government and the state-owned companies should not waste financial resources spending money on legal fees and other costs to defend those claims. This is important because it would save taxpayers' monies, which would be saved by not having to pay legal costs to defend the claim, the interest accumulated on some claim, and to pay legal costs for those who file the claim.
And given that the Privy Council found no arguable point of law or point of general public importance in the EMBD's application, Mr. Maharaj says this should count as a lesson for future projects between government and contractors.
The effect of this judgment is therefore extremely important to the public interest because it creates a situation for government and state-owned companies to put the requisite measures in place and not to put forward defenses to claims or be misled in putting defenses which have no merits. I would also urge persons in the construction sector, including contractors, the government and state-owned companies, to get their personnel to read the contents of this judgment, as it would help them to know the rights of the contractors and the rights of the employers of the contractors.
The EMBD's case is based on allegations of unlawful means conspiracy, bribery, knowing receipt, dishonest assistance, and breach of fiduciary duty in relation to 12 civil works contracts, which were awarded about 3 months prior to the 2015 general election. Via statement about the ruling, the Attorney General's office says the appellants and Dr. Munilal, who have avoided filing their respective defenses for approximately 7 years, are now required by court order to file them on or before November 6, 2024. Over in Tobago, an investigation is underway into a social media video featuring a joint patrol operation between the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard and the Department of Marine Resources and Fisheries Reef Patrol Unit following a concluded patrol during carnival activities on the island. We have more from our correspondent Elizabeth Williams.
The Division of the Environment in Tobago said it acknowledges public concern regarding a social media video featuring a joint patrol operation between the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard and the Department of Marine Resources and the Fisheries Reef Patrol Unit. The incident occurred in Tobago during the carnival weekend, and according to the Division of Environment, action is to be taken. According to the division, the video in question shows the 2 TTCG officers and the 2 Reef Patrol officers from the Department of Marine Resources and the Fisheries in uniform as they returned to port at the end of their joint patrol duties. Although the patrol itself had concluded and the vessel was en route to disembarkation, they acknowledge that the unauthorized recording and sharing of operational activities, even at this time, was inappropriate and does not align with their professional standards. The department stated it acknowledges this lapse in judgment by their staff and initial action is to be taken. Reporting for News Center 5, I am Elizabeth Williams.
A 54-year-old man is found guilty of incest after raping his 14-year-old daughter twice in 2007. In his defense, the man said he mistook the girl for her mother, who had moved out of the house a month prior after she was beaten by him. Following a judge-alone trial earlier today, Justice Kathy-Ann Waterman-Lachu found the man guilty on both counts as well as on an additional count for grievous sexual assault against the girl. He was remanded and is to be sentenced on December 4th. The evidence in the case was that on the night of May 12, 2007, the girl was asleep when their father entered the bedroom and assaulted her. Prosecutors Dylan Martin and Niara Budan contended that the next day, the man was watching a pornographic movie when he called the child into the room, held onto her hand, and again asked her to have sex. She refused, pulled away, and ran out of the house. However, the same night, he attacked her again without success. The prosecutor said on the night of May 19th, the man entered the child's room and assaulted her. The court heard that during the act, the phone rang and he was interrupted. The girl eventually told her mother of what had taken place, and the man was arrested at his home. A bloody physical altercation between two parents outside the Cedros Secondary School is being described as one warranting police intervention. The suggestion is being made by the National Parent Teachers Association. The NPTA condemns the situation. A video of the incident involving two mothers has gone viral on social media and has not escaped the attention of the Education Ministry. In the recording, two women, one armed with a cutlass, are seen fighting with one child begging her mother to stop. The 41-second clip ends with one woman grabbing the other's hair and while fighting her for possession of the cutlass. Today, President of the NPTA, Walter Stewart, calls the behavior unacceptable. He wants a police investigation.
It is not only totally unacceptable, but reprehensible and calls for swift involvement of law enforcement in this matter. Such acts of violence not only show poor role modeling, but negative parenting on the part of the two mothers who were involved in this act that took place in front of the Cedros Secondary School, and more than the presence of several students who were in the vicinity of the environment where the action was taking place. National Parent Teacher Association calls for a parenting workshop, a parenting seminar in order to be able to guide our parents as to proper behavior so that their charges can see how to conduct themselves in any and every situation.
Mr. Walter says the situation can have a negative impact on the many students who witnessed the fight. He says it speaks to the issue of conflict resolution.
Parents should understand the need to be able to come to amicable solutions in order to quell and mitigate circumstances which would otherwise have gone awry, and be able to show their children, their charges, how to operate under conflict and when conflict is imminent, and how to be able to mitigate the conflicts that are taking place between them. National Parent Teacher Association is also concerned about the impact that that act would have caused on the lives and the minds of the children who witnessed the demonstration of violence that took place between those two parents.
And the Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association is disgusted by the behavior of the parents. President Martin Lumpkin says he can now understand why some students exhibit similar behaviors.
The Trinidad and Tobago Unified Teachers Association tutor takes note with disgust at the video being circulated, which allegedly shows two parents engaging in acts of violence and indiscipline. We are outraged by the behavior of some parents who should be setting better examples for their children and for the nation's youth. Based upon some of the videos being circulated, we can understand why some of our students behave in the manner in which they do.
Mr. Lumpkin is also supporting police intervention. Meantime, Education Minister Dr. Nayan Gadsby Dolly describes the incident as tragic. The minister is quoted as saying it is beyond tragic that a parent conference called to deal with an issue between schoolmates can end like this. She said parents must, despite the challenges, set the example for their children to follow. Dr. Gadsby Dolly said parents leave little hope for their children, and they cannot find more progressive ways to deal with issues. The principal of the Cedar Secondary School has since been advised to report the matter to police. In news outside of Trinidad and Tobago now, Israel's allies have condemned a vote in the Israeli parliament banning the UN's Palestinian Refugee Agency, UNRWA, from working within the country. The laws bar UNRWA from operating in Israel and annexed East Jerusalem and severely curtail its ability to work in the occupied West Bank and Gaza. Israel has objected to UNRWA for decades, with this intensifying over recent years. The BBC's Yolan Nell has more.
Israeli Prime Minister's office is underlining that it says there'll be 3 months before this takes effect, and it's going to work in that time, it says, with world partners to try to sort out this aid situation. But if you look at the legislation, there are two parts to it. One which basically bans UNRWA in Israel and in Israeli annexed territory, that's in East Jerusalem. And then there's another part which bans the Israeli authorities from really having anything to do with the organization. And that's where it's going to have a big impact on Gaza and the West Bank under Israeli military occupation. Because in order to get aid into those places, in order for international staff to move around, that all requires coordination, especially with the Israeli military. And if you look at Gaza in particular, well, that is where UNRWA is the biggest UN agency on the ground. So we've seen during the war that it has become the biggest distributor of aid. And it's also, of course, running these wartime shelters with so many premises in Gaza, turning them over to displaced people. So that's why, this is really causing such a lot of alarm.
The BBC's Yolan Nell there in that report. And that brings us to the end of your news to 4 o'clock. Here's a reminder of the headlines before we go. A former Attorney General says the EMBD's ruling is a wake-up call for contractors and employers. An investigation is launched after viral video shows security operations of 2 coastal patrol units. A father is found guilty of incest, the victim, his daughter. And internationally, Israel's allies condemn the banning of the UN's Palestinian Refugee Agency, UNRWA. I'm Monica James. Stay with us. More news coming your way at 5 o'clock.
News Center 5, live local coverage you can depend on. I-95.5, the most influential name in radio. News Center 5 at 4 was brought to you by
TWCU, our credit union. One family.
Attention, all valued members and stakeholders of TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society. We're excited to announce our relocation to a brand new address, 105 to 107 Henry Street, Port of Spain. This move reflects our commitment to growth and providing you with the best possible service. Our new location offers a modern, member-focused experience in a convenient central spot. Please update your records with our new address. And don't worry, our contact information stays the same. For more details, call us at 623-4444 or email us at info@twcu.co.tt. TWCU Credit Union. Our credit union, one family.
I-95.5 FM, celebrating Calypso History Month. Calypso Globalization. This is Queens of Calypso, paying tribute to our women in Calypso. Sponsored by Silence Musical Supplies.
Woman and take she home, leave she all alone. Looking for something on the outside when you have inside. If you don't stay home and take care of your wife, some guy could come from behind and he could destroy your life. Who she call on the phone when she all alone? Simon. Who feed the pussycat milk? Simon. Who pump the nail with his hammer? Simon. Simon sweet. Simon sweet. Simon sweet. Simon sweet. Pushing the arch about telling lies, giving expensive jewel to this woman who is not your wife, and the wife at home and getting nothing. As you turn your back, the side man giving something. Who sit in your chair drinking your beer? Simon. Who turn on your radio, take off the video? Simon. Who dip his pen in the ink? Simon. Simon sweet. Simon sweet, Simon sweet, Lord, Simon sweet. The wife that's pregnant, you're feeling happy, you give big party. The wife best friend called she and tell you is not the daddy. When you leave to roam, leaving she alone. This side mothers come and teaching how to blow saxophone. Who give you a 6 for a 9? Simon. Who said the child is a mine? Simon. You fattening come for the butcher? Simon. Simon sweet. Simon sweet. Simon sweet, Lord, Simon sweet.
Honoring our women in Calypso. That was Queens of Calypso. Queens of Calypso. Inside Calypso History Month. Sponsored by Simon's Musical Supplies.
But like a close with this place, boy.
Boy, Anthony, what going on there, boy?
Hey, deal going on, partner. Listen, boy, in a rush. I'm looking for Simon's Musical Supply, but you wouldn't believe this. The band have an event to play in, and brother, watch me. The truck transferring the instruments getting an accident.
What kind of fairy tale tell him, man?
Deal, if you ever like about that, boy, I'm talking about the pianist, the guitarist, the drummer, the saxophonist, and all the instruments mash. And I know Simon's have all them things. So that's all you find on St. Vincent Street right now, looking for the place, and I can't find it.
Wait. Who you doing on St. Vincent Street, boy? Simon's move.
Huh? The way?
20 board sheet pot of Spain.
Oh, I didn't know. Simon's Musical Supplies, where words fail, music speaks. Call them at 625-6412.
Eastern Credit Union, leading the way. It's the season, it's the reason. Gift of life is sharing at Eastern Credit Union. Consumer loans, reduce interest rates. Enjoy Georgie bundle and then consolidate. Get a loan by November 16th, 2024 for a chance to win one of 2 grocery shopping sprees. Grand prize for staycation throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Promotion ends December 31st, 2024. Win shopping vouchers. Promotion approved by the NLCB. Eastern Credit Union, leading the way.
Under the auspices of the Mayor of Port of Spain, His Worship Chinua Ali, we present Baron's Infinity Concert, Sunday, November 3rd at the Winifred Atwell Auditorium, Queen's Hall. This show features Sugar Aloes, Gypsy, Tigress, Sherwayne Winchester, Calypso Princess, Dwayne O'Connor, Josiah O'Connor, Chuck Gordon, Elon Francis, Sheldon Reed, Rome, Zachary Ransom, Aaron Duncan, Ainsley King, Rondell Donowa, Lady Adana, the All-Stars Band, Los Alumnos de San Juan, Messi Trinidad All-Stars, and of course, the Baron.
I want that Spanish woman to marry me.
Baron.
Call me the sweet
And also Calypso legend, King Shortshirt from Antigua. All singers on the night will each perform a selection from the Baron. Your MCs, Damian Melville and Sunny Bling. Limited advance tickets only $300. Tickets available at the Queen's Hall box office, the Trini Shop, Trin City Mall, Excellent City Center, QueensHallTT.com, and the C3 Center in San Fernando. Also, you can get your tickets from Sherma at 755-2915, Delinda 723-4011. Infinity, the concert.
Long time me not do this, you know. Let me go. South Trinidad, get ready. It's cool, sour vibes on the beach. The night before the Diwali holiday, we head to DG's Beach Bar, Clifton Hill, Point 14.
I saw outside with the girls this summer. You don't have a ring and you don't have a
Wednesday, 30th October. It's all about no sour vibes on the beach. So organize a crew and leave your sour vibes home. DJ Marky and Fire Travis, bring in the fire. And yours truly, JJ, Mr. No Sour Vibes. We wanna drink that party. Yeah. Get ready for the loose cannon, S. Carter, alongside Gilligan.
Are you feeling the feeling?
So all your runs up your crew, leave your sour vibes home. It's open at 7 p.m. It's only $100 admission. Wednesday, October 30th, the night before the holiday. We heading to DG's Beach Bar, Clifton Hill, Point 14. It's no sour vibes on the beach. Sponsored by Forest Park Punch and Rum, Magnum, Tonic Wine, and Moccasin.
Sit you, but then you know for 99. Girl, come right.
Grab your ticket TNT because we're taking you on an unforgettable journey down Sando. Get ready for San Fernando City Month 2024. Know your more Sando. Follow Sandy, the official City Month tour guide, and he guides you through all the explosive events celebrating San Fernando's 36th anniversary of city status. The journey kicks off November 1st at Paris Promenade with Arrival. Our star-studded launch event featuring Michael Tayshaw, Nishad M, Perry Lyons, and many more. Let's sail away on the second on the Mayor's Boat Ride soiree on the seas. Immerse yourself in total luxury at the all-white inclusive brunch, Stush, on the 10th. Then get ready for Bacchanal on the 16th with Juve in the morning and Pantrin Bagel Pan and Powder, the Southern Experience from 6 p.m. Fashion, art, and music unite on November 11th to the 15th at San Fernando Glamour Week. Then from the 14th, foodies, get ready for very own Restaurant Week. You don't want to miss this incredible adventure. San Fernando City Month 2024. Now you know Sando. Coming this November. Follow the San Fernando City Corporation on Facebook, IG, and TikTok for more information. A message from the San Fernando City Corporation.
The countdown is on. 1. iSports. 2. A president. A 12th man. 3. Ready. Set. Go. The following takes place between 6:15 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Events occur in real time. Get ready to get back on the edge of your seat. Every second will count. One day. Saturday, 2nd November. One person, Kieran Edwards, CTFA president. One chance. Convince people of Trinidad and Tobago. Oh, the fearless one, Andre Errol Batiste. They meet for the first time ever. There are no conditions, no guarantees. Edwards' destiny is in his own hands. iSports on I-95.5 FM. #1 sporting show in Trinidad and Tobago awaits. Viewers, listeners, discretion is advised.
Buy a ticket and support Presentation College San Fernando with a massive raffle, the Grand 3-Car Raffle. Win one of 3 brand new MG motorcars, courtesy Massey Motors. The draw is on Wednesday, December 4th at the school compound. This is your opportunity to win, so don't miss out. Each ticket costs only $100 and are available from teachers, pupils, and parents from the school. Tickets are also available at Athletes by the Park, 519C3 Mall, Bellini Drugs, Sion's Bar, Kenny Sports in San Fernando, and Queen Street, Port of Spain, Crosby, St. James, selected Catholic churches in San Fernando, Extra Foods Endeavor, and Grand Bazaar. All proceeds go to further education at Presentation College San Fernando. It's their Grand 3-Car Raffle, Wednesday, December 4th. For more information, call 732-3402.
Get ready, Point Fortin. The I-95.5 FM Fatman football team is coming to your town. That's right. On Sunday, November 3rd, we are taking on Offshore Oilers at the Clifton Hill Ground, starting at 5 p.m. Grab your friends, grab your family, and don't forget, most important, grab your orange. We want to see a sea of orange as I-95.5, the greatest Fat Match football team in the world, takes on the Oilers. Come witness orange rise over the oil. It's going to be an action-packed evening filled with thrilling football, great vibes, and tons of fun. Will Offshore Oilers hold their ground? Or will I-95.5 bring the heat and conquer the Clifton Hill pitch? There's only one way to find out. So come out, represent in your orange, and let's make some noise. November 3rd, 5 p.m. at the Clifton Hill Ground. Point
This is the 95 Afternoon Drive with Darian Marcel on the Eye.
Celebrating our icons, legends, and stars of Calypso inside Calypso History Month. The Baron on I-95.5 FM.
Girl from Toronto. Get to play mass in Tobago. But all the time I didn't know. She never hear I tell it so. So as Stephen was passing, soca music was blasting. When she heard it, she turned to me and said, Lord, this melody sweet. Lord, this melody sweet. Lord, this melody sweet. Lord, this melody sweet. Ponche, Tonet, Levet, Sete, Bubone. Lord, this melody sweet. Oh, oh, this melody sweet. Oh, oh, this melody sweet. I was a singer on the show. I was a singer on the show. And when I sing my calypso, she felt the way she Marino. And only whining down low, low. Outside the hot sun, she snatched up my popcorn and started to get on, run. melody street. Lord, this melody street. It have a message underneath. Lord, this melody street. I say, Bonje, Johnny, Leve, Lord, this melody street. I've met many people trying to make confusion, trying to put Baron against me. Some say for an imposter and bliss with imitation, and how I try to sound just like you. But I would like to let those people know, for 14 long years, Baron did leave and go. 1979 is when I came on the scene. Then Baron came back in, but I don't sound like the Baron. For your information, the Baron does sound like me. So when I'm singing my tune, and you hear a sweet croon, I'm just being me. Even when I'm dressed in some fancy style of fashion, or wearing some costly jewelry, the couple that they see me talking to 4 or 5 women, they not say I try to be like you, but there's one thing that they don't understand. Baron loving done and plenty action. I just love nice things and I am being friendly. Yes, it makes me happy. But I don't look like the Baron. And if I should mention, Baron more nasty than me. So whenever you see me looking nice and dandy, I'm just being me. And address each other as brothers. We think that's the way that it ought to be. But through I see some people just getting alright and decide to make a controversy. Even reporters and all join the crew. And the question, what more gold than you? And when I'm not feeling to put minds on, they just say that it's in the phone. But I don't have go like Baron for their information. Baron don't have go like me. So whenever I'm wearing, it's not flamming, I'm just being me.
This is Calypso History Month on I-95.5 FM. 95.5 FM. Calypso Globalization. Calypso Globalization.
All night, we come to shake it, and we go shake all day, all night. For we are having a party, a party, a party. I say we are having a party, a party, a party. Making music and freeing up. We getting frantic Cause we are having a party, a party, a party. I say we are having a party, a party, a party. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Our kid is what our kid. Our kid is what our kid. As far as I remember, whoever is prime minister holds an office over all the land. Whether you're in a position or some government fraction, respect is due to the man or woman. So I was really confused for true by all the hullabaloo, because I lift up the PM hand and sing she's royal. Some people say I lost across the floor, how me and PNM no more. So they start to behave rude and cynical. So I will choose to boo, I still remain true. I'm 100% bonafide, grassroots citizen, true Calypsonian. Is I who represented you all the years gone by. I see the word entertainer in this passport of mine. You see me as a traitor, but my paycheck was looking fine. It was not election day, and me a shift no voting block. It's just me always get paid to do our work. Our kid is what our kid. Our kid is what our kid. In a party, with my baby. In a party, with my baby.
Right. Now we had to make some changes. Dr. Wayne Fedricks got caught up. You know, the media is, they want to interview him, they want to talk at him. So he is unavoidably not able to come out this time. He may drop in to say hi, but we won't be able to do the interview we wanted to do with him. He'll defer it on at that time. I know how it is, as he did, and you know, they jump on him because you know they want to get information. You were supposed to get exclusively, yeah, but I know how it is. So I'm going to start Citizen Daria now.
She couldn't take the jamming.
He's a son, a brother, a husband, a father, a businessman. He cares. He's a citizen. If it happens in Trinidad and Tobago, Citizen Darian speaks. If it affects you, Citizen Darian speaks. If it affects Trinidad and Tobago, Citizen Darian speaks. More country than party, Citizen Darian speaks. Listeners of I-95.5 FM, Citizen Darian.
Welcome back, and thanks for understanding. Thanks for understanding. So I'll do Citizen Darian. Dr. Frederick said he may just stop in, say hello. I appreciate that. Two things. Let me just say congratulations to Miss Marilyn Gordon, Mr. Orwell London, Bertrand Kelman, and Leon Smooth Edwards, Surinarayan Gusa, Mr. Kusal, on their honorary doctorate they received from the University of Trinidad and Tobago, all well-deserving. Congratulations. And let me congratulate Mr. Christopher Street, who we interviewed last week, who is now the new president of NUGFW. It means that the other gentleman who held the position will now officially go into retirement as far as the union is concerned. Right? Enjoy it, sir. All the best. And Mr. Christopher, Mr. Street, stay focused. Serve your members, serve your members, serve your members. All the best to you and your executive. I told you I'm coming this afternoon to fix some matters. Now, I want to let people know that it's not the first time I'm in this situation. I'm accustomed taking licks, even from my friends when they don't agree with me when I take positions. And I remember some 2009, 2010, When I sat here, we were in the other place, and I indicated that I thought that the decisions of Mr. Manning he took at the time, after calling elections early '95, and then by the time we 2009, the prophetess called the heart. And we lost. I thought, well, I called for his resignation. I did that. I challenged him, and I paid a price. I know that I paid a price, and many times when I disagree with things in the PNM, and people just get vexed, ministers, people just stop talking to you and thing. But I tell people I am a supporter of the PNM, but it is true. My service to my country started through the PNM and service politically, but it's about serving Trinidad and Tobago, all the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. And the PNM is not a PNM is not a place that where people don't make mistakes. They will from time to time, but it's still the safest place politically for me and for this country because we serve all the citizens. No political leader is perfect. No member is perfect. I am not perfect. So I will disagree. And on the last occasion, two of my colleagues called in the station. Irene Hines at the time was my colleague, and Wendell Stevens, who is still my colleague, called in and they said they want to disassociate from my comments. But it played, I was cool with that. I was cool with that, and it played itself out. And we all know the outcome. The PNM is not a place where people don't make mistakes or disagree. And I have been disagreeing right here over the years. And I disagree in forums where I'm afforded the opportunity to speak my mind. Whether it be at legislative when I was a councillor or general council when I was a member, I would speak my mind. If I sit to the political leader and we are discussing certain things or whatever we're discussing and I disagree, I will say that. I'm not afraid to do that because I will always give you my honest opinion. And I'm not a dashboard puppy. I'm not always right. Never, no. I don't think that I'm always right. And I will always be the one if I am satisfied that the information shared or the other person's view is better or makes sense, I will always submit myself to that. But I will call it as I see it. And I've paid a price in the past. And I have no problem with that. You can't afraid play mass and afraid powder. But you see my integrity, don't challenge that and question that. Don't say things about me that are not true. I'll take you on. But I want to start here. I have the greatest respect and regard and with reverence to Ferdy Ferreira. I do. I do. I do. And I read his article, and Ferdy pointed out a number of things. And he didn't take sides left, right, or center. Matter of fact, I thought it was educational for those who don't know. However, there was something that I felt he did not address. But I want to start here. As far as I'm aware, the political leader may have signaled that he is considering leaving at appropriate time. He didn't say when. Neither did he make any comment about a successor or who his successor would be, as the case might be. He hasn't done that. Neither has Stuart Young put up his hand and say, I want to be prime minister, I want to be the next political leader. He didn't say that either. And I am in full support of any member. I think it's their right to aspire to the highest office in the politics or anywhere else. It's their right, and the PNM facilitates that. There's strong democracy in the PNM. However, I will make up my mind as to who I will support as leader, as the next leader of the PNM and prime minister, based on my assessment of things, who I think is best suited for the job. I have not said who I'm supporting because there's no race yet. I'm aware that there are many people bunching because of what the prime minister said in the parliament and even before that. And They're rallying up themselves and they're bunching together because they want to have a plan. They want to succeed. They're entitled. I don't have to agree with them, right? I don't, and I will speak out because I want what is best for Trinidad and Tobago. I want to remind people about something. Dr. Eric Williams was elected by the membership leader of the PNM, and he became premier. I'm repeating something I said before. George Chambers became political prime minister first and then political leader on the passing of Dr. Eric Williams. So Dr. Eric Williams died in office. It was the president at the time, Mr. Ellis Clark, who among the deputy political leaders at the time identified George Chambers in consultation, I guess, with some people, and he selected George Chambers to be the leader of the PNM and prime minister. The parliament, the members of the parliament supported him as leader, as prime minister, as well when they went to the house. Having lost the elections in 1986, 3 members of parliament there were Maurice Marshall, Donovan McDavidson, and Patrick Manning. Patrick Manning, under the circumstances, was first made leader of the opposition by the parliamentarians supporting him. First of all, because it's who, in the mind of the speaker, commands the majority in the House. There was 3 of them. The other 2 supported him, and he was made leader of opposition. And after that, the membership got to vote and support him, and they voted him as leader of the PNM. Subsequently, when Mr. Manning demitted office and resigned, it was because we lost elections in 2010. Again, first it was the members of parliament who voted Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley to become the leader of the opposition. After which, the party membership went on election and voted for Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley to be the leader of the PNM. If I'm mistaken, feel free to share, feel free to correct me. So, on this occasion, so when people talk about when people are making statements that there is undemocratic, would they suspicious of what Dr. Rowley might or might not do? Dr. Rowley has not selected anything, that the membership will be denied the opportunity to elect a leader. You don't know a history, or you're creating kangatang. Look at the history of how leaders in the PNM have been selected over time. Look at it. Bear all the facts. Let the facts be a mantra. So, Dr. Rowley, we have an election pending. I don't know what Dr. Rowley's plans are. So, Dr. Rowley has decided, look, I'm going to ask Stuart to act for me going forward, as opposed to Mr. Imbut, who has done a fantastic job over time. But when I saw that, I say, Dr. Rowley on a particular track record. Since he came in as leader, he has, on every opportunity, he has given young people in the PNM opportunities to serve. Look at all the people who are chairmen of corporations and mayors. Look at the parliament. Look at the cabinet. Young people in the main. So in my view, when I saw Dr. Rowley ask Stuart to act, to me, that is all I was seeing. Him giving a young person, having given Mr. Imbut, a very experienced member of parliament, opportunity, he's given a young person now. Why he chose Stuart, I can't answer that. I can't answer for Dr. Rowley. He will have to tell you that. But I'm happy that he gave a young person, and I'm very happy that he gave it to Stuart. What is all the kankata about, really? To me, Dr. Rowley has been consistent with giving young people the opportunities to serve this country. And he has done a good job. Many of them has risen to the occasion Not all of them. Coming to today now, coming down the road here now, so everybody jumpy. And we would have heard Rad Marad say that he spoke to someone and he mentioned the name Mr. Hanley Hunt, who told him, Rad Marad said this, right here last week, Monday, that he was unhappy that the internal elections were deferred because he was hoping that the internal elections there would have been an election and the executive would have had 5 new members, and those 5 new members would form part of the screening committee, and he thought that under the new executive he would have a better chance of being nominated and selected for Library. Mr. Maraj told us that, not me. I didn't even know that. And then when I further checked, I saw those were the facts. Mr. LeHunt is entitled to aspire. He's entitled like everybody else. I'm going to deal with that. Jennifer Baptiste Primer stood up in General Council and challenged Dr. Rowley. She questioned the process, of which she is entitled to do. That is how democratic the PNM is. I wouldn't agree with the tone that she used and arguing of what is reported by many people, but she's entitled to challenge. And she did that. She's right to do that. My challenge, however, with her is speaking to the media as a member of General Council after. That is a no-no. And Ferdy did not address that. He didn't address it. At least not in the article for me to see. I don't know if I missed it. For me, that was my quarrel. And I said, Jennifer Baptiste Primus is entitled to challenge and ask questions and ask for clarity. And once those answers are given, we move on. People make it a big split when there was none. Of 76 people in General Council, 75, or no, not 76, yes, 75, 70 I'm told, or 75 I'm told, I don't really know total number, voted in support of Dr. Ollie's argument. 5 abstained, and 1 voted against, and that was Jennifer Baptiste Primus. And she's entitled to vote against, and she's entitled to disagree as well with him. That is her right. I don't agree with her going post and talking to the media. That's not how it is done. Now, I mentioned this, right? General Council is made up of members of parliament, upper and lower house, and local government representatives who are elected by different councils, including the chairman or mayor to General Council. But though they are ex officio members, so they can't vote. They can speak, they can raise issues, but they can't vote. So Marcel Johnson is reminding me that is 81 persons who voted, 75 for, 5 abstain, and 1 against. Now, if 75 people voted for, where's the imbroglio? Where's the split? Where's the bacchanal? 1 against, she's entitled, but it's only 1, and 5 abstain. It was almost unanimous. Not unanimous, but the eyes have it, and it's a significant divide. It wasn't close, as pointed out to us by Mr. Ashton Ford. It wasn't close. So where's the imbroglio about? And I have noticed that, and I see a response to my statement. So they're not using, and they've not, all of the interviews and all of the Kangata was being carried by CNC3. As I talk about it, they start to use the Express now. Okay, no problem. I see the shift, and I understand why. Here, what is my concern? Now, I will not stop talking. But I want to tell all you something. I've taken this 2 minutes to tell all you what I tell all you. I'm going to talk in the next hour. Here I am in Tobago, work NCC in Tobago, and I doing my tour of duty. A lady who I have not spoken to for a long time because 140 persons were present. Thanks there. Because of inappropriate comments she made about me in the past, not dealing with that lady, and that is Irene Hines. I am there standing up in the Nirvana party at the entrance with our characters greeting people. She passes me and comes back and points her finger in my face and accuse me of taking a bribe. That is why I talk and how I talk it. Irene Hines, and I'm not afraid to call her name. That is the operations person in the PNM. Accuse me in front of people with your finger pointed at me. Accuse me of taking a bribe. I took umbrage to that. But it didn't end there. Only to hear on Sunday from a very, 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 very senior member of the party is to call me and tell me, Mr. LeHunt, call him and tell him that I take a bribe. That's why I talking so. Robert, me and you good enough. And I could disagree with what you do and how you do it. But I will never make these allegations against you. Why would you do that and tell people that, and clearly he might not be the only person who they tell that I take a bribe, I only take, all you know what all you're saying? All you know what all you're saying? Well, I'm not taking that. That is, you see that? That is attacking me personally. That is attacking my integrity. And I don't know who or else will they tell that. But the very, very senior PNM member that you told that called me in disappointment and told me what you said. I wouldn't call his name. I'm disappointed. Very disappointed. And if all you feel by spreading that gonna make me pardon and get scared, or they're barking up the wrong tree. I serve one God, and that is my leader. That is my leader. That is who take care of me. I'm not afraid of nobody and none of you. I would say my piece. I will never attempt to discredit all you or say anything that wrong or disrespectful. I would say my piece. I'll call it as I see it. But to make the malicious comments about people, I will never do that. I'm disappointed in you, Irene Hines. Waste of time. But you see what you do there? I'm disappointed. But we will talk more in the next hour. We go to the Center 5 at 5.
With Mr. Kevin Garcia.
Broadcasting from Port of Spain, Trinidad, this is the most influential name in radio, I-95.5. Live local coverage you can depend on. This is News Center 5 at 5.
The Top Cup commends officers for safe Tobago Carnival. The Trinidad and Tobago Association for the Hearing Impaired strapped for cash and 60 dead as Lebanon's eastern Bekaa Valley come under Israeli airstrikes. Good afternoon, Trinidad and Tobago. Now with the news in detail, I am Kevin Garcia. The Trinidad and Tobago Police Service says over 8,000 persons took part in Tobago's October Carnival. There are also reports today that it attracted 37,500 people to the island. In a release, Commissioner Erla Herwood Christopher extends deepest appreciation for officers for their outstanding policing in support of a safe and successful Tobago Carnival 2024. The Commissioner says the Tobago Carnival 2024 exemplified the dedication, teamwork, and professionalism of officers, adding it was a true showcase of what can be achieved through collaboration, diligence, and a shared sense of responsibility. The Commissioner commends every officer who contributed to making these festivities safe and enjoyable, and thanks everyone involved in helping to achieve the mission of giving residents and visitors a memorable and safe Tobago Carnival experience. Mrs. Harewood Christopher says this significant achievement would not have been possible without the outstanding leadership of DCP Suzette Martin and the Incident Command team of ACP Collis Hazel, ACP Oswayne Subero, and Senior Superintendent Earl Eli. The services offered to the deaf and hearing impaired in Port of Spain are being challenged by serious money and infrastructural problems. This morning, the president of the Trinidad and Tobago Association for Hearing Impaired appealed for help. Mr. Nicholas Cumberbatch confirmed the roof and ceilings of the Wrightson Road building have collapsed.
That's correct. The roof has been is missing actually, which is really embarrassing to say. But the roof has been missing from part of the building.
Mr. Cumberbatch assured the services offered are not being negatively affected, but that may be temporary.
As we ought to be expanding, because we just finished doing a organizational restructuring plan, and it is a fact that we need more people to be able to deliver the services that we are delivering. So if in fact we need more people and we have to accommodate more patients and do more things, we will need to make more use of more space. And that is one of the reasons why the roof, it has to be raised so that we can make more use of that top floor space.
The president shared Dretchy gets a monthly subvention from the Ministry of Social Development, which covers salaries and other expenses. He also explained $10 million is needed for the first phase of repairs. The Caribbean and Latin America benefit from a record cruise ship season. A new business research and economic advisors study says destinations directly generated billions in total expenditures. The information is released as the 30th annual Florida Caribbean Cruise Association Cruise Conference and Trade Show concluded in St. Martin last week. It attracted nearly 800 attendees. The study found that cruise tourism brought 33.3 million passengers and crew onshore throughout 33 Caribbean and Latin American countries. It says this directly generated a record $4.27 billion in total expenditures. It also created more than 94,000 jobs, paying more than $1.27 billion in wage income for the 2023-2024 cruise year. And to some news now outside of Trinidad and Tobago. At least 60 people have been killed in Israeli attacks on Lebanon's eastern Bekaa Valley. 2 children were among those killed in strikes which targeted 16 areas in the Belbak area. The Israeli military has not yet commented. The BBC's Hugo Bachega reports.
Those attacks happened with no warning by the Israeli military. There hasn't been reaction from the Israeli army explaining those attacks, what was being targeted with those airstrikes last night. But the Lebanese health ministry is saying that at least 60 people were killed, including 2 children. And images that have been posted on social media show widespread destruction in some of those areas. Also fires that were sparked by those airstrikes. And the head of the civil defense in Baalbek said that those airstrikes happened at the same time last night, that residential buildings were hit. And in one village, the village of Budai, residents overnight pleaded on social media for heavy equipment to be sent to the area to help in those rescue efforts. So that gives you a sense of the desperate situation there following those airstrikes. And this morning in another village, rescue efforts continued for 5 people who are still missing following those airstrikes.
That report there from BBC correspondent Hugo Machega. And that report there brings us to the end of your news to 5 o'clock. As we go, here is another look at the stories making the news to this time. The Top Cup commends officers for safe Tobago Carnival. The Trinidad and Tobago Association for the Hearing Impaired strapped for cash and 60 dead as Lebanon's eastern Bekaa Valley come under Israeli airstrike. I am Kevin Garcia. Thank you so much for staying with us. Our next major news center 5 can be heard this evening at 6 o'clock.
News Center 5, live local coverage you can depend on. I-95.5, the most influential name in radio.
For many on the beautiful sister isle of Tobago, water now flows regularly through their taps.
It is not perfect today, but we have to commend WASA. We have to commend the Ministry of Public Utilities that we have certainly come a long way.
The Honorable Shamfa Kojo-Lewis, Member of Parliament for Tobago West. And what do the residents have to say?
It is a blessed day. I am telling you, I am so happy.
Thank God for that.
I am so happy because it's not easy to do laundry with no water.
Oh, yeah.
It's not easy. Now that you all do this project here, I believe it will be a better supply of water.
Thanks to CWIP, serving communities, improving access.
This was a production of the Information Division, Office of the Prime Minister, Communications.
This Christmas, it's more the merry eyes, first citizen. It's more the merry eyes, more the merry eyes, more the merry eyes, first citizens. For all your financial needs, the citizens is the one you need. And if you really want to succeed, just come with us and take the lead. And get it pre-approved is a breeze. Help your finance new properties. We have loads of green energy. And you could win a new SUV or take a vacation. If you need a break, get more time cash back and low rates. The first citizens, all is yours. We're giving you more than Santa Claus. It's more the merry eyes, more the merry eyes, more the merry eyes, first citizens.
In heaven's eye. Heaven's Final Call. A fresh look into the Holy Bible through the books of Daniel and the Revelations relating to the end of time. Time. That segment of eternity devoted to resolving the problem of sin and evil. There is cosmic time for planet Earth and personal time for each individual, including you. Each had a beginning and each will have an end. How will it end? Will there be World War III, a nuclear holocaust, a global epidemic? Will a global peacemaker arise in Israel? Join our presenter every Tuesday at 6:30 to 7:30 p.m. right here on I-95.5 FM as we continue our exciting journey through these timely prophetic writings. God alone knows the future. He knows the answers. Come study his revelations with us and be blessed. Time is running out for this planet. Time is running out for you. Heaven's final call. The final messages from a loving God to this planet and to you. Heaven's final call. A more sure word of prophecy.
Hey Keith, Cindy here. I hear Uncle Robert passed away.
Yes, girl. It really hit us hard, eh?
Well, who doing the funeral?
It had some touts under the tree, by the mortuary.
Them selling fruit sour. Look, just call OP, yeah? Go by OP Allen. They provide you with quality, professional, and affordable service. You hear why I telling you?
But the mortuary men was sending me.
Call OP and stop your foolishness for me, please. Them mortuary attendants does be getting big money to send you by them rundown place. Call OP Allen at 638-7700 or 313-7700. And remember, not just any Allen, OP Allen.
The Voice of the People with Harvey R. Barnes is now on every Wednesday on I-95.5 FM. Tune in as he discusses current affairs and more. Do you want the truth? Can you handle the truth? I love my country. The Voice of the People. Now, every Wednesday at 6:15 p.m. with Harvey R. Barnes. Only on I-95.5 FM.
We see you back again. something for Christmas time. With loans up to 50,000, so come down and join the lines. No interest rates, sounds at PCU Plus. Affordable payments for all of us. It's a merry, merry Christmas with PCU. Your future is safe with us for true. It's a merry, merry Christmas with PCU. Your future is safe with us for true.
This Christmas, get up to $50,000 with low interest rates, no payment until January. New members, we got you through. All normal lending criteria applies. Police Credit Union, your future is safe with us.
In this season of Diwali, we celebrate the victory of light over darkness, of goodness over evil. Just as the diya shines brightly in every home, filling it with warmth and love, Penta Paints brings a brilliant glow to your walls, transforming your space with vibrant colors. Let your home reflect the spirit of Diwali, bright, welcoming, and full of life. Because just like love brightens your life, Penta Paints can brighten your home. Penta Paints, paint your possibilities this Diwali.
Hey, Olia! Look, Venture Credit Union handling everything this Christmas, boy!
This Christmas, everything is on us. This Christmas, everything is on us. Take a jolly holiday loan for your Christmas plans. Borrow up to 200 grand and do all you can.
Enjoy no payment for 1 month and low interest rates. Plus, you could win 15,000.
That's great. This Christmas, everything is on us. This Christmas, everything is on us.
Visit our website at venturecreditunion.com or call 225-4VCU. Hurry, offer ends January 31st, 2025. So apply today. Normal lending criteria applies. This promotion is NLCB approved. Why just dream when you can venture?
This is the 95 Afternoon Drive with Darian Marcel on the Eye.
Welcome back. And as I promised, Dr. Frederick is here for a short time to speak with us. Because I promised that we'll interview him in the last hour, but the media lock him down. So he got here late, but we will have another interview with him, hopefully Monday afternoon in the 5 o'clock hour, but he's here. Dr. Fredericks, good afternoon and welcome once again to I-95 on the Afternoon Drive.
Thanks for having me. Good to be here.
Let me I don't know where to start to congratulate you on this auspicious award given to you by the American people and government. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, this is pretty humble in the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Service has an award given to naturalized citizens. It's an Outstanding Citizen of the Year award. And to my surprise, I was contacted, by the service and given the award. It also came along with my opportunity to speak at a naturalization ceremony for new citizens. And especially in an election year, that's always a very special opportunity.
Certainly.
Last year's awardee was the CEO of Microsoft. So
that places you right up there. I mean, and rightfully so.
Very, very humbling. I've had an incredible experience. I think in the U.S., apart from running Howard, but being on multiple boards and being able to serve in different capacities. Beginning this Saturday, I'll serve as the CEO of the American Cancer Society as well. So it's been great. I'll be serving as the CEO of the American Cancer Society from November 2nd. Yeah, so
that is
big organization.
Huge. Congratulations.
I appreciate it.
Like in Trinidad, we have a cancer society here. There's a significant organization based on the challenges we have in Trinidad and Tobago and the world with cancer. And in America, from my own experiences, that is a very significant organization. Fantastic. Congrats.
Appreciate it very much.
I want to touch on something which we will explore further next week once we went through. You made a commitment to Trinidad and Tobago re-education, and you made a significant contribution to the Ministry of Education. Can you
Yeah.
Give us some information on that.
You know, I spoke at the opening of a public library in the neighborhood in which I grew up in Diamond Vale. That they opened Digger Martin Public Library. Absolutely fantastic facility, and I was moved at the time of that opening to make a pledge to give $1 million TT to the Ministry of Education. They have an adopt a school program, and I thought that it would be, great for us to support that. As in
It
my
is you and your
family.
family.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so we did that. They had to set up the accounts and so on. We did that back in March. They informed me last week that the accounts were set up, and we were able to wire the money last week. And we signed the MOU just a few minutes ago. In the
So I
Ministry of
know that's
Education.
the event that you were on.
That's good.
I'm
Yeah.
hoping to get here, and I know that I understand you not being able to come because I would expect the media and to celebrate the occasion and give us much
Sure.
information. But I want to thank you personally for giving back, and in an area, of course, of your expertise in terms
Sure.
of education. You're now the outgoing president or retired president of Howard University.
Yeah. The infrastructure and resources are so critical. And I say it every time I come here. This is a public system supported really solely by the government. And that's unusual in any country today to have that type of a system and still be able to, excel and have all of the access to contemporary experiences. So my hope is that corporate Trinidad would support this. I give the keynote at the Trinidad and Tobago Stock Exchange event tonight, and that's going to be part of my appeal that there's a social responsibility that the corporate entities have. They want a workforce that can make their businesses better. That workforce has to be educated somewhere. And
Well, you touch a nerve with me, right? Because you hear the chambers of commerce talking about the crime and what happening and the government. And not normal they put their money where their mouth is. You're correct. The education, the schools turn out citizens at all levels, and that's the workforce for the business. Where is your investment in education for the quality of staff that you want to meet the demands of not only Trinidad Tobago, the region and the world? So I'm happy for that call. I'm very, very
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, these are complicated problems. Let me be clear about that as well. It's not just a problem that requires money, but it requires commitment, requires people's time as well. So, as I pointed out earlier today, while we're giving money to help with infrastructure issues, I've been giving up my time. I've been coming here every month and trying to visit various schools. Been as far as Cedrus Secondary, Point Fortin, and it's amazing. Those kids deserve our attention. They deserve my attention. Many of them have taken my number. They WhatsApp me, email me about applications, schools, and it's nothing like seeing that excitement and enthusiasm in them, and that's something that you want to instill confidence in them that they could go for it. But it means that we have to show up. It's not just about our money. We have to show up. And one of my appeals today was for all of us as citizens to take time, not just with our kids. Charity does begin at home, but we all should spend 10 minutes with a kid in our neighborhood this week. That's my hope.
Somebody asked me a couple months ago about your background in medicine. They're not aware that you're a surgeon.
Okay. Yeah.
Could you share some of your background in medicine for our listening public? They don't know.
Yeah, sure. I had an unusual educational experience. Starting here, I skipped Form 3 at St. Mary's, and then at Howard, I was able to do a combined program. I did 2 years undergrad only, and then went to medical school after my second year of
That's
medical
phenomenal,
school.
right?
I got my undergrad degree and then got my MD. Many years later, I got my MBA as well. So I trained as a general surgeon at Howard for 5 years, and then I went to MD Anderson Cancer Center where I spent 4 years, 2 years doing research and 2 years in a clinical fellowship. And now I'm a cancer surgeon, surgical oncologist. I primarily operate on patients with abdominal cancers, so pancreatic, colon, those types of things. And I've also had an incredible, business experience. I sit on 5 public boards now, and I'm a lead independent director of a company in New York, a financial retirement company. And so I've had a pretty, I would say, great experience. I have a very curious mind, and I've been able to dabble and get myself involved in quite a few things, and so that's been very helpful.
Do you still practice?
I still practice. I still see patients. I still teach every Tuesday and Thursday when I'm in DC. I make what's called teaching rounds at 7 in the morning. I'd say the students are often curious, to see a university president, sitting with them and going over, basic anatomy and things like that. So I get back home tomorrow, and Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. I'll be in the hospital with probably 10 to 15 students for an hour or two, not only teaching, but answering any question they have about, administration, leadership, finances, the role of medicine in our society, because I think we don't do enough of that in the curriculum as well.
Yeah, that's fantastic. You've accomplished so much, and you continue to give of yourself. Really appreciate that. Let me set this tone for the next interview. Next week, Monday, God's willing, hopefully in the 5 o'clock hour, once God spare our lives and you're available, because I know how busy you are. I want us to talk about the US elections.
Sure.
I want us, because as a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago, you've been born here, the outcome of the elections in the US affects us one way or the other.
Correct.
And what I am looking at, and solely and purely only for the interest of Trinidad and Tobago, who wins the elections in the US next week, it will have a significant impact on Trinidad and Tobago, the region.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that, and I'll give my disclosure up front. Kamala Harris is obviously an alum of Howard. She also, VP Harris also sat on the search committee that appointed me as Howard's 17th president. So I got to know her very well and still maintain a close relationship with she and her husband, play golf with her husband. So I'm going to put my bias out there. I've given her an honorary degree as well in 2017. So I know her very well. But even with that, I'm happy to have a conversation about the policies I think that will influence, places like Trinidad and Tobago and the Caribbean in general. And your policies around climate, your policies around trade, all of these things have significant. People are talking about, Donald Trump is talking about tariffs. I don't think a lot of the public in the Caribbean understand the impact that could have on a place like Trinidad and Tobago that should be relying on certain kinds of trade. You talk about climate impact, right? The smaller countries in the Caribbean are being severely impacted by whether it's storms, warmer waters, the flora and fauna being impacted. And so, but we're not necessarily emitting the kind of gases that are causing this change compared to these larger industrialized countries, but we're paying the price. And so all of these things, I think, are things where policies that are set in a country like the United States is going to impact the Caribbean.
I want to tell you, I'm very scared. I make no apologies to say, when I'm reading what Elon Musk is saying, and he's a significant ally of Donald Trump, I like to spend time with the details. And in what Elon Musk is proposing, and I know that is clearly an agenda of Donald Trump, and about the issue of how closing down the social services in the US. And if you assess that and you understand the domino effect that will have on Trinidad and Tobago, first of all, our citizens who are there, and then the domino effect of that on the economy of Trinidad and Tobago, it's scary.
Yeah, I think the most important thing is for us to be educated about what it is. Sometimes I hear people have these conversations and they naturally go from one side or the other, when in truth and in fact, we really need to educate ourselves about what these policies mean, to your point, and really make sure that as we make decisions, we get there.
Yeah.
Now, I have to be honest with you. Having been through some of the changes, I'd like to say that the American democracy is messy. It's a pendulum. It self-corrects. You don't get a Barack Obama if you don't have a George W. Bush.
Yeah, correct.
You don't get Donald Trump if you don't have a Barack Obama. And you don't get a Vice President Harris if you don't have a Donald Trump. So the American democracy is messy. Also, Howard, which is a Black university, was signed into existence by the 17th President of the United States President Johnson, who was a racist and a misogynist.
Yeah.
He started the school that would send the first black woman to the White House as a vice president, right? So that's the irony of the American democracy, that it's messy. It doesn't get there how we would like it to get there.
Correct,
That's why I don't always necessarily fear it as much as I recognize that we have to participate. That's
You must.
the key.
You must
have to participate.
Again, you know, the way the pendulum swings, you can't foresee all the outcomes.
That's right.
And you can't stand on the sideline and hope for the best.
That's right.
So I'm not different to Trinidad and Tobago. You know,
Yeah.
you can't sit on the sideline and hope for the best. And you need to get involved actively, one way or the other, even if it's just to vote.
Yep.
You know,
And in this case with Trinidad and Tobago citizens who can't vote, you have to educate yourself about what's to come, so that when you do get your chance
You know
to
why.
vote,
You know why.
you also are making decisions that you recognize are a ripple effect as well.
Correct. And I hope that we can have this more in-depth conversation, God spare our lives, next week.
Sure.
Let me congratulate you again for your accomplishments and your recognition. But I want to also say thank you. You've represented Trinidad and Tobago proudly, successfully. And thanks for coming back and giving of your time to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago and your involvement in Trinidad and Tobago. Well, they don't know that well, you love it carnival. He don't miss a fete for carnival.
And listen, what I do is just a small payment on the debt of gratitude that I owe this place. What I receive from this public healthcare system and education system, it's unbelievable, bar none. And so the least I could do is try to give back. I'll never be able to pay that debt back fully. Let me be very clear. That's how big that debt is. But I'm gonna die trying.
And I appreciate that. And I'm sure on the way you may be able, and I hope you will be able to without directly knowing otherwise, produce our next Dr. Wayne Fredericks or better, you know. So I thank you for that intervention. I tell people those interventions will impact people differently. And you may get an outstanding plumber, an outstanding police officer or nurse or public servant or a parent who sees the value of what you have been able to do and rethink their approach to the children, you know, and you will never be able to identify them out here, but the work is done and the investment is made. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. My
Thank you
pleasure.
for spending time with us and looking forward to our longer conversation next week. God's will.
Absolutely.
All the best.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
All right.
We take a break. When we come back, we will chat some more.
This is the 95 Afternoon Drive with Darian Marcel on the Eye.
Some people argue the songs of long ago used to be better calypso. Some people argue the songs of long ago used to be better calypso. Can you remember why Madame O Catilla? And then they sang Tire, tire. I said the Lego was Tire, tire. I'm sure most of you all can remember Emmy Pasky and Malvara and King Panto from San Fernando. Those were the songsters of long ago. They used to sing Married Man in the Slaughtery, Sweet Man eating Calvary. You run, you run, and why you run? And then they sang Tire, tire. I said the Lego was Tire, tire. Now I remind you of a song they used to sing long time, but they did not used to sing it in rhyme. They never used to rhyme in the correct way. Like the modern songsters today, they used to sing Tina, where you went? I went the time they closed in the bamboo, and then Tire, tire. I said the Lego was Tire, tire. And today we put rhythm in the calypso. Have you heard? Take me down to Lucy Road, but don't let me mama know. And 1,000, 10,000 to buy me one. It's to sing the chorus. 1,000, 10,000 to buy me one. And long time was Tire, tire. I said the Lego was Tire, Betty Ray.
Right. I hope you all appreciated the little taste we got of speaking with um speaking with Dr. Wayne Fredericks, and I look forward to having a further deeper discussion with him next week, Monday, in the 5 o'clock hour, once he's available, because he's my man. Um, so that we will have that further discussion, right? Now, before we go on the take calls, right? I spoke at Ferdy and he corrected me, and I'm always subject to that. He did say in his article, he did point out that the PNM is not a secret society, and in the past it has happened where people would have outside of general counsel, after general counsel, speak to the media. And I would err on the side of Ferdy here because Ferdy is much more experienced than I am, and he would have experienced that. To the best of my knowledge in my history and time, attending general counsel, there has been a order, and it is not expected. There are people who are charged with the responsibility to speak to the media, and I guess if some people feel um, uncomfortable, they may very well feel free to go and speak to the media. I don't support that, but they are entitled. So, yes, Jennifer, I guess we are not in a secret society, and you're free to share your views if you feel aspirated enough to speak to the media. However, you know, it can be, in my view, the minute you disagree, the first time you say you disagree with the leader, you go to the press. That's my view. That's only my view. You get free to share, to feel otherwise, you know, to feel otherwise. But what I know is, here what I know, you wouldn't like it as if you're head of the organization, as you have been, a structured organization like the PSA. How would you feel if that was done to you when you were president of the PSA? I know for a fact that you wouldn't have liked it. You wouldn't, and you may not tolerate it. I'm just saying, I know how the thing does go, but it is your right and entitlement, I guess. I think, so that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. That's cool. And for any thanks for the call, I appreciate the call. I want to make another observation and correction. And I need to share this with you because I want you to get the facts. I want you to get the facts. You need to know how the thing does go proper. Right? So let me talk about that. When the president made the appointment, for example, the appointment of a prime minister, that is his constitutional remit. So the constitution is who guides the president. And if in the view of the president, the person who commands the support of the majority of the party with most seats, and that's how it is. So when after election, the UNC, the NAR, the PNM has the majority, it is the person among the majority who commands the support of his side, who will be identified as the president and so on in as that, right? So the president will not do that on his or her own accord. It is the guidelines set out in the constitution, and that president, whoever he is, will make the decision according to appoint the person according to the guidelines of the Constitution. Yeah. So I want to bring clarity in that, right? I don't think I was clear enough in that regard. So I want to make that point. It wasn't on the preference of the president. It wouldn't be on his opinion. It wouldn't be on who he like and don't like. It will be guided by the Constitution. So there's a process and a protocol in that regard. Yeah. So having said that, I clear. I will not just I will not hesitate to share my view on any issue in the country or in the PNM. And if I could speak out on, no UNC person, after all I just criticize them, will go in the public and accuse me of taking bribe or speaking from a support thing. They wouldn't do that. I've never heard that. Never heard it. About 3 months ago, when the bacchanal with when the issue with Ms. Kamala Prasad Bisesa and the UNC, the members took place, I called Ms. Kamala Prasad Bisesa. I called her and she took my call because I wanted to run an interview with her to discuss the imbroglio. She wasn't available to do it, but she took my call. You know what I'm saying? But she didn't refuse to talk to me because I criticized her here on the radio. She mentioned it, but you're always saying things about me. I say, yes, ma'am. But I discussed public issues. She spoke to me. She ain't call me. She didn't say I ain't talking to you because you're PNM. She didn't say I ain't talking to you because you just abuse me. She didn't say it's take bribe and they pay it about talk me. She never did that. Oh, Irene Hines could lose she head. Or not for the first time that she had to make utterances about me that was inaccurate. Irene Hines called my phone 6:30 in the morning while my son in the car going to school and accused me of being responsible for Marlene McDonald getting locked up. I said, what you say? And she repeated that. I turned off my phone. My little son said, Daddy, what Auntie Irene says the truth. You cause Auntie Marlene to get locked up. Tears run down my eye because he know both of them. He grew up with them. Irene Hines losing she head. She lose she head. I stopped talking to Irene. I'd be just normal. But you see me in an event in Tobago and point up your finger in my face and talking long about how I take bribe, you're losing it, girl. You're out of your mind. Or but I live in that day. God go deal with all you. You're calling up my name and in disrepute, God go deal with all you. But I'm going to open the lines. And by the way, I'm repeating, Mr. Robert LeHunt. You spoke to a very, very, very senior member of the PNM and told them that I taken bribe. I'm repeating it here because I could prove it if you challenge it. I'm repeating it here and you know what I'm talking about. Okay? But I'm going to open up the lines and take calls. Call us, give me a little hearing there. We're going to take calls. You can call us at 62258. No, 622583937. 6223937. All right? I don't play, I'm not for sale. Let's take a call. Good afternoon. Hello? We have a caller. Good afternoon. Hello?
We have a caller. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello?
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, caller.
Mr. Marcel?
Yes?
My name is Eddie Hart.
Don't make joke. Dr. Edward Hart?
Yes.
Oh, good. Hey, I gotta tell you something, you forced me. I play mass in All Stars in Miami. I play Sailor Mass, boy.
I'm not trying to get you to do that. I'm trying for you for the longest while to understand All started a band with a different boy. With a different kind of
I
band.
enjoy myself. I enjoy myself.
Glad to hear that.
Take
All
care.
right.
Tell
So I
me.
hope it will be the last time, right?
All right. All right.
Okay.
Tell me.
Yeah, Dari. Yeah, hearing some kind of shoppiness about Darian, about some bright thing. What kind of nonsense is that? Let me tell you something. I want the public to hear this. Darian Marcel is a man of impeccable character. I repeat him. Darian Marcel is a man of impeccable character. And I am saying Darian integrity is unsurpassed. I've been dealing with Darian Marcel for years. And I know the man I'm speaking about. He is an excellent human being. One of the best human beings that I have ever met. That is Darian Marcel. I'm talking about, you know, Darian Marcel. When coming to giving, always so very helpful. Jesus said that there's more happiness in giving than there is in receiving. And Darian has demonstrated that all through his life. So what kind of nonsense? You understand? Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. People, I angry. I'm angry. I know why I'm angry. Because I know what I'm speaking about. Darian Marcel, boy. Great, great human being. Wonderful fella. Wonderful team player. You understand? Right? So having said that, any further thing, I am solidly in Darian Marcel's corner all the time. I will always be in Darian Marcel's corner. I want to repeat what I said earlier on. He is a good human being. All right? Right. Okay, Dari. So
Thanks,
that is it. I hope the public will listen to what I have to say.
I
Right?
appreciate the endorsement. I really appreciate it.
And I will always continue to endorse you, Dari. And you know that. You know that. Everybody know that. Okay?
Thanks,
So
brother.
keep good.
Thanks, sir. Thanks. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling.
Bye.
Yeah, man. Let's take another topic line now. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Darian Marcel Miguel here.
Happening.
I wanna continue the endorsement. You're a man of character. You're a man of goodwill. You have a good heart. There are two things you have to be wary of: envious people and jealous people. Have a good evening.
Thanks for your call, brother. Thanks for your call. Nah, the athlete made the emotional. I didn't expect him to call. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Thanks a lot, Eddie. I appreciate that. Thanks, Miguel. You and I have been around a long time working in the vineyard. You know? By them people losing their head, man. But they tell themselves I wouldn't treat to the matter now. But I'm not afraid. I back in myself. I'm not afraid of that. Don't do that. You could disagree, you could vex. Don't put God out your thought and do that. I'm taking you on. I let the world know what you do. I'm not going to deal with you. I'm not playing that. You didn't have to agree with me. You didn't like me. You couldn't want to talk to me. You're free to disagree with me. See, Fody Ferreira called me. He said, Darian, I did respond. This is what I said. I not a problem. I do have a problem coming and saying I was wrong, and I fixed that because I have the greatest respect for Fody Ferreira. That is one of my go-to persons when I want to find out anything, and I have great respect for Fody Ferreira. Great respect, and that don't mean we always have to agree, but I have great respect and regard for him. And yet, and I do agree when comment upon his All-Stars. I used to be our Arados. I say as a temporary, not Arados now. That's still vexing him. But I'm telling you, you're right there, Robert Henry. When them go low, I go high. But my highest exposure, I will not, you can't make them kind of comments. So you go on by a significant person. I still cannot remember and tell him that he called me one time. They called me one time and tell me. And I'm curious as he could call me and tell me. I don't know who else will they tell that to. I'm not playing that. I'm going to tell them what I know about all you. I'm not going to do that. Not here. Because I don't think I wouldn't do that. I do always have to agree with all you. You understand? I just saying, boy. I caused Marlene McDonald take a look up. It's the first time I talk about it. I wasn't prepared to do that. You call me and do that. And from then to now, I stopped talking to you. You disrespectful. Marlene is my friend. Was my friend. God rest her soul. Let's take our call. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Mr. Marcel.
Hey, Grong Dove.
Yeah, man. Well,
come
I
on,
am,
Fisher.
come on, Fisher. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
You
sir.
know, I'm a ardent fan of the afternoon drive.
Yeah, man.
But when I heard my dear friend and brother, Eddie Hart, had to call in and endorse you on a matter, and I heard that matter myself, and I'm sitting here and, I am very concerned about that. So I want to fully endorse what Mr. Hart said. I have known you for over 2 decades, Mr. Marcel. And like Eddie said, a man of integrity, principle and ethics, a man to his word. That is my experience. And I take real objection. I reject that thought. You know why I do that? Because you see, we are in the time in a world now when people are making all these serious things, and you can't take it for granted, You can't ignore it, and say, well, that go pass away. No, you have to stand up. And I join Mr. Hart in endorsing fully that you're a man to your word, you're a man of integrity and a principle and so on. But I want to take this opportunity, as you mentioned, Mrs. Gordon, to publicly congratulate Mrs. Gordon for her work in education, which on basis of that, UTT has decided to honor her. And I take this opportunity because Mrs. Gordon was my first Minister of Sport when I joined the Ministry of Sport. Congratulations, Dr. Marlene Gordon. But Mr. Marcel, before I go, I just want to jump into a little thing, and I'm speaking here as a citizen. I am not in the bowels of the PNM in any big structure or anything. I am speaking as a citizen outside of the box. I know that there are people there who will be talking and writing and so on and so on. They are the people in the hierarchy. But I want to tell you, for me as a citizen, I'm in town a long time, I've listened to Mr. Speaker, sir, Lionel Sukaran, and Dr. Williams and so on in the parliament. So I'm in town a long time. And one of the things I learned growing up as a young man, as a citizen, I always hear that the PNM, they wash their dirty living in public. I grew up with that. I don't know whether the instances happen. Let me tell you how I interpreted that as a citizen. Up to now, I interpreted that in this way. I felt, of course, people outside of the hierarchy, like the General Council and the General Council and the leadership of the PNM, will sort out their matters in-house. That's how I saw it. And that is one of the things that attracted me to the PNM. Let me say it again. The fact that the PNM was not an organization that could just hear people saying things all over the place. And that business, I'm sure everybody who's listening would have heard of that. That is one thing. If you hear people on the other side, the opposition will say that. But why all can't be like the PNM boy? They don't watch their dirty living in public. And that is something I cherished up to today. Right? I don't know about the instances of that, something I cherish. So, in closing, when I saw all the matters going to the media, I got concerned because I felt what those matters did, it was an opportunity to give the UNC a political blind. Let me tell you what I mean. Before our very eyes, all of us saw that the UNC collapsed during the debate. They collapsed. There was a right side and a left side, an upside and a downside, an A side and a B side. You heard it. You heard the member for Tabakit chastise the member for Princestown publicly on a matter dealing with respect to his honor and his integrity. Publicly, that was an example of a collapsed organization. When I look on social media, the comments you are seeing is a collapsed organization. 2 days ago, a sitting alderman in the Superior Borough Corporation did a TikTok video, and here we describe the A side of the UNC, crooks and thieves. Now, you know, all of that is below the carpet. You know why? Because now the media is focusing on the PNM. And what caused that? That is my concern as a citizen. Very concerned about it. That created an opportunity to give the UNC a political blind. And since then, the media has focused on every single thing with respect to the PNM. But while that is happening, we are dealing with a party that wants to be in government that has totally collapsed before our very eyes. That is just my view. I am not no bowels of the PNM or anything. As a citizen, that is my view. Thank you very much, Mr. Marcel.
Thanks very much for your call as usual. Let's take another call. 622-3927. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Mr. Marcel.
Hey, long time, boy. Mr.
But
Porter Spain.
I always listen, but this station is popular, especially when you want. And it is very difficult to get in from yourself. So, again, I am here to also endorse you. And good afternoon to you, Mr. Rihat. Congratulations that you won. And Darian, you're still at the Sparrows. I don't want to hear you off for that at all.
Well, they're roughing up my people.
You are one of the greatest.
Well, no doubt about that.
As you have said, that all you learned is from Fodi for Moses.
Fodi, Norma Lewis Phillip, Marilyn Gordon,
is one who
you
is
name it.
responsible for me. So, being educated in the politics of Trinidad and Tobago, I must thank him for that.
Correct.
Today, I am on the radio with integrity, and I could also say you is also one. And thank God that we have a Prime Minister, Dr. the Right Honorable Rowley, leading us through pandemic, all kind of difficulties. Thank you again, and happy belated birthday to you, Honorable Prime Minister. Wish you many, 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 many years. Thank you very much for allowing me this contribution.
Thanks for your call, brother, anytime. I have a song to play to any program that I saw earlier. Let me take a call. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Darian.
Good afternoon, Darius.
And how are you?
Blessed and highly favored. I'm excellent.
Yes, well, hear this. As a young person of the PNM, I support you, Darian, and I stand with you.
Thank you.
Mrs. Hines, you got it wrong. Mr. LaHunt, you got it wrong. Darian, I will stand with Darian. All you got it wrong. Darian will not sell out for any bribe. He's not one of them. He is not one of them. Just the way he speaks of how he interacts with his mother. His mother can still call him and scold him. That is a respectable man. Darian is a respectable person. He will not sell out. And I stand with you, Darian. And I also stand with my Prime Minister. Whenever he chooses to leave, I know that he will choose the right person to lead the PNM. Darian?
Yes, dear.
Can I say one more thing?
Sure.
I don't know if you, together with the Ministry of Culture and the NCC, is in talks of doing some work to the grandstand for Carnival next year.
Some work has already almost completed. They refloored the entire grandstand. It was wood and it's now concrete. A lot of good work. We got support from our line ministry and Unicut.
Right.
Excellent work was done.
Yes, because I was telling the other fella who you don't like now that I went to the Emancipation Village and underneath had flooded out.
Yeah.
So I am glad to know that the graffiti on the outside need redone. It needs some work.
Yeah, we have some work to do, but it's about money, yeah? So we're taking it one step at a time.
Because we're the Mecca.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So Darian, I stand with you. I support you. And
thank you. I appreciate that.
Darian will never sell out. Bye. Have a good evening.
Oh, there we had a close off here. It's 5:57, but I had to sing. I want our message now for all of them. All of them. And all they more vexed today, all they cuddling and huddling. Father bless me, boy. Father take care of me. Guide me and protect me. Yeah? How I living? I go tell all you know. How I living? By the grace of God. Yes. Let go.
Devil just try, but he does never lose.
Yeah, failure with all you.
If I tell you,
failure with all you.
got me smile. When them do me wrong,
yes,
I do them right.
Correct is right.
I'm just a man who does pray at night.
Day and night. Better than them. Better than them. Better than them. Better than them. No problem.
If you see me jumping up to the ceiling and them high,
Yeah.
all that what I feel is peace of mind.
Yes.
Jumping up to the ceiling,
A climate chest.
all that what I feel is peace of mind.
Yes.
This is the mood I feel in real good. Nothing can change the groove I feel in real good.
Real good.
Them can change the mood I feel in
Real good. Yeah, man.
Some people allergic to happy,
Yeah.
good over evil. No red eye nobody, because God alone know the things we face in this life. Come and reason watch every step we take. Stay on the right
Yeah.
Father no, forgive them, they don't know better. Father no,
Take care of them.
when them do me wrong, I do them right.
I'm calling you out,
I'm just a man.
Yeah.
I do the spray at night.
Day and night. Day and night at the spring. Yeah, thanks, Zakaman.
You're welcome.
I need to
sir.
send them. I love all of you.
Yeah.
I love all of you.
Hmm.
Don't do me wrong. That time when they do things like this, I could jump out and call you out. But other than that, I could take the rest quietly and point to the Father in prayer. All you have a good one. Thanks for listening. Thanks for calling. Thanks for messaging. Thanks for your love and support. I appreciate it. Come on, thanks.
You're
Have a
welcome.
good one. We got a new Center 5 at 6.
With Mr. Lance Motley.
Yeah, boy.
This is the mood I feel in real good. Nothing can change the groove I feel in real good. Them can change the mood I feel in real good.
Broadcasting from Port of Spain, Trinidad, this is the most influential name in radio. I-95.5. Live local coverage you can depend on. This is News Center 5 at 6.
Opposition MP calls for end to period poverty. Assistant Superintendent of Police dies 1 day after suffering stroke. A video showing officers wrapping up a joint patrol in Tobago under investigation. And hotel collapses in Argentina, trapping several under debris and killing at least one. Good evening, Trinidad and Tobago. I am Lance Motley. Here's what's making news to this hour. Member of Parliament for Mayaro, Rushton Parry, calls for legislative action against period poverty for women and girls. Mr. Parry intensified his commitment to ending period poverty by hosting the Caribbean Women Honors and Empowerment Group at the Mayaro Resource Center recently. A release from the MP says the event, part of CWHE's Period Poverty Ends Now pen campaign, addressed the ongoing challenge of accessing essential hygiene products for women and girls in Trinidad and Tobago's rural communities. Mr. Parry emphasizes the importance of affordable access to sanitary products in areas like Mayaro, where high costs often put these necessities beyond reach.
It is unacceptable that in 2024, young girls are missing school because they can't afford basic hygiene products. The lack of access to sanitary items is a direct affront to dignity and a barrier to opportunity.
He says legislation is needed to address this issue.
This isn't just about supplying products. It's about enacting policies that restore dignity, enhance educational access, and foster equality. Addressing period poverty through legislative reform is a decisive step towards a more inclusive and equitable society.
Mr. Parry says these proposed changes would aim to mandate the provision of sanitary products in schools, public and commercial buildings. Additionally, Mr. Parry says the legislation would seek to introduce tax and duty waivers on sanitary products, making them more affordable for everyone in need. Acting Superintendent of Police Intikab Mohammed dies. ASP Mohammed passed away at hospital on today. He was found unresponsive at his Oasis Gardens, Shogunas home by officers of the Central Division Task Force yesterday. Mr. Mohammed reportedly suffered a stroke and collapsed at his home. He was alone at his home at the time. The EHS was contacted and Mr. Mohammed was taken for medical treatment, but he died. Police are searching for 3 men in connection with a vicious cutlass attack against a Princestown man. According to reports, the victim, a 29-year-old man, almost had his right arm severed during the attack. The victim told police he was liming along Lothian's Branch Road at around 11:45 p.m. on Sunday night when he was accosted by 3 masked men. The police report says the suspects, all armed with cutlasses, suddenly descended on the victim. The men reportedly chopped him to the head, chest, and both arms. They then fled the scene. The victim raised an alarm, and with the aid of persons in the area, he was conveyed to hospital. Police reports say his condition is listed as serious. PC Dionarine is continuing inquiries. An investigation is underway into a social media video featuring a joint patrol operation between the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard and the Department of Marine Resources and Fisheries Reef Patrol Unit. The patrol in question took place during carnival activities in Tobago. More from our correspondent, Elizabeth Williams.
The Division of the Environment in Tobago said it acknowledges public concern regarding a social media video featuring a joint patrol operation between the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard and the Department of Marine Resources and the Fisheries Reef.
Him a letter. I want to ask him a question. If he knew what was going on, the other day I was passing. I hear people complaining. He is the man with the answer, but he quite over yonder. They say, snake in the valley, say. Snake in the valley, say. Snake in the valley, say. And they biting hard. Snake in the valley, say. I'm sorry for Trinidad. In the country, man, they worse than Mappy feet. When they're making the racket, they just dress up in nice jacket. Some big fat mackerel, drink all the oil in the oil well. I don't know how they found the key, but I hear they empty the treasury. Snake in the valley, say. Snake in the valley, say. Snake in the valley, say. And they biting hard. Snake in the valley, say. Destroying Trinidad. Question the hunters who does hunt down the squatters. They just cut down your hammock. They don't care if you sleep on rock. While them snakes in the country only pulling their belly. I want to ask what causing that, but afraid they shoot off my hat. I'm telling you, snake in the valley.
Ongoing goal of economic expansion and diversification. Contrary to claims in a daily newspaper, Minister Imbert clarified that Exim Bank Forex was never used for vehicle imports, luxury items, or non essentials, and was instead strictly for essential goods during the COVID period. He said foreign exchange from the Exim Bank has never been sent directly to any importer, and all foreign payments, once verified, are made directly by the Exim Bank to vetted and validated international suppliers. He said the temporary access for importers ended in August 2024, reverting to Exim Bank's primary mandate to support the manufacturing and export sectors. The finance minister said it was unfortunate that some importers made purchases without securing their own funding, insisting that the forex window was always a temporary measure to support citizens' needs during the pandemic. The government's current forex policy continues to focus on promoting economic diversification through export manufacturing.
Also tonight, the University of the West Indies, St. Augustine campus and the National Flour Mills Limited have officially signed a memorandum of understanding focused on agriculture research and development. This agreement underscores their shared commitment to advancing sustainable practices in agriculture and nutrition. Jason John has more in this report.
The University of the West Indies, St. Augustine, and the National Flour Mills have signed a memorandum of understanding aimed to further develop and research agricultural sustainable practices. According to the Dean in the Faculty of Food and Agriculture, Professor Mark Wodavera, this partnership between the university's Faculty of Food and Agriculture and NFM establishes pathways to training, capacity building, and strategic collaboration to strengthen Trinidad and Tobago's food and nutrition security.
These efforts are aimed to tackle our unsustainable reliance on food imports, which has resulted in alarming high import bills that impact national stability. And I know my colleague, Dr. Saintville, always reminds us that food security is national security.
Pro Vice Chancellor and Campus Principal, Professor Rosemary Bell Antoine, notes this ongoing partnership focuses on the promotion of food security, sustainability, and innovation. She says this is particularly important to bridge the gap between research and the practical application to address critical food and agricultural challenges facing the region.
To demonstrate what we are doing at university to sustain ourselves and ensure that what we create, how we innovate is relevant to our community. So that's what we're really about. And I think with institutions, organizations, and persons like we find in National Flour Mills, we can do that so much better.
Chief Executive Officer of the National Flour Mills, Ian Mitchell, says NFM is very excited to partner with the UE to drive innovation and sustainable agriculture. He believes by combining their expertise and resources, this partnership can make a significant impact on food security in Trinidad and Tobago.
For us, we recognize that there's an opportunity as one of the leading agro-processors in Trinidad and Tobago, and we feel the Caribbean, it is our duty to work with the agricultural sector, to work with the Faculty of Food and Agriculture, to build the projects that have very good potential for the people of Trinidad and Tobago and the wider Caribbean.
The UE and NFM recognize the potential for innovation and the need to invest in research and development to drive progress in creating a more sustainable and resilient food system in the region. Jason John, TTT News.
You're watching TTT News. More news coming up.
This November 2nd, for one night only, from the producers of Believe, comes another premier live concert experience in Trinidad and Tobago. Versi d'Amore, a symphony of romance at the Winifred Atwell Auditorium, Queen's Hall, featuring John Thomas, Marvin Smith, Farouk Jr., Andre Como, Stefan Ayam, Jamal Winchester, and Stefan Roach, with special appearances by Jermaine Scott and the long-awaited return to the stage of Vanessa Bush. Get your tickets now at Queen's Hall box office or online at queenshalltt.com or call 376-5699 for more information. Versi d'Amore, a symphony of romance. Get your tickets today.
Over 1,000 graduates from the University of Trinidad and Tobago received their undergraduate and higher degrees at the National Academy for the Performing Arts on Monday and Tuesday. Among the graduates, 5 notable local figures were recognized for their commendable contributions to Trinidad and Tobago. Here's more in this report.
The 1,300 University of Trinidad and Tobago graduates are ready to take their place as leaders and innovators in their chosen fields.
Josiah Ranghill,
Speaking at day one of the ceremony on Monday, Chairman of the Board of Governors of UTT, Professor Clement Imbere, said that UTT graduates continue to break barriers and push boundaries within society.
Kellyanne Bon Jusson, MSc in Maritime Operation and Management, became the first female commander in the history of the Trinidad and Tobago Defense Force, a graduate of UTT, of course. UTT's Senior Manager, Sport and Recreation, Ian Pritchard, was elected as one of the 5 advisors of the International University Sports Federation for the Americas.
This, Professor Imbere says, demonstrates the far-reaching impact of an education at the UTT. Valedictorian Amy Boisel reflected on the journey to success.
My fellow graduates, we finally made it. From all the I swear I sent that email moments to the disappearing documents. From I don't understand this to staying up until 3 a.m. just wanting to throw your laptop across the room. And of course, the nerve-wracking exams and those looming 11:59 deadlines when everything seemed to be due all in the same week. Through these trials, we have persevered.
She encouraged the graduates to use their degrees to make meaningful connections.
It allows us to gain access to diverse perspectives, knowledge, and opportunities that can propel our careers forward. In the spirit of UTT's mission of public engagement and innovation, we must continue to build meaningful connections that open doors to future success. However, we must remain authentic and sincere in our interactions. Being genuine creates an environment of trust and mutual respect.
5 sterling local luminaries were acknowledged over the 2-day period for their contributions to Trinidad and Tobago.
The Catalyzing and Connecting the Circular Economy in Trinidad and Tobago project aims to reduce landfill waste, pollution, and flooding by promoting the recycling of materials such as PET, HDPE, and Tetra Pak containers. This project, funded by the Inter-American Development Bank's Innovation Laboratory, is part of the Cropper Foundation's Project Closing Symposium. Here's more on that symposium that took place on Tuesday.
Speaking at the project closing symposium, newly appointed Chief Executive Officer of the Cropper Foundation, Charisse Braffett Joseph, said the project is built on 4 key pillars.
1. Driving behavioral change through national and localized campaigns to shift attitudes towards recycling. 2. Piloting a recycling process via a partnership with Blue Waters, Caribbean Bottlers, and Nestle. 3. Engaging stakeholders by bringing public, private, and civil society actors together to support recycling efforts. And 4, supporting circular economy businesses with mentorship and seed funding.
She said originally the campaign was focused on recycling. However, after a focused collaborative process, it was decided that another campaign strictly around recycling was not quite needed at this time.
It was felt that what we really needed was some positive, uplifting messages around existing options and examples in support of the 5 R's: reduce, reuse, repair, repurpose, and recycle. Ones that emphasize good habits we grew up with, the good work of those that's already addressing the issue of waste in various spheres of influence, and all the many good reasons we must do our part to reduce waste.
Private Finance Operations Lead Specialist, Inter-American Development Bank, Vashti Dioki Singh, said the Cropper Foundation was an ideal partner for the project.
This was a pilot. It was successful, but we have to collectively find ways to take the solution forward. We cannot continue to put plastics, to put Tetra, to even put aluminum and glass into the marketplace, whether it's in Trinidad and Tobago or further afield in Caribbean, in the wider international space, and not have a solution for the recycling of these products.
The CCCE project's aim was to pilot a viable private sector driven model to support sustainable recycling and circular economy interventions in Trinidad and Tobago. Mahalia Joseph Wharton, TDT News.
In other news, a local Indian wear designer says his male clientele is slowly but surely superseding females as men are looking for unique ethnic wear around the Diwali religious period. Sunil Lala has the details.
Rajendra Sahadev Singh has certainly made a name of himself in the past 4 years. His business, Rajendra Sahadev Singh Designs, which was opened in the early stages of the pandemic, has now blossomed to provide unique Indian ethnic wear for his clients.
Well, there's always a demand. There's a full demand because what I produce is only on demand. I don't have a store with designs just ready, like a regular store. You walk in, I work on a personal level with each client. So when you wear anything that is RSD, it is one of a kind. There's no other piece in the entire world.
And he's put a Caribbean touch into his designs.
The brand and the collection covers all races, all sexes, all age. So what I do is I try to incorporate the East Indian culture with the Caribbean aspect of it. So I try to use light fabric, more printed, anything that is related to the Caribbean, because look at us right now. We are both sweating because it's so warm. So, you know, the Indian wear, they're fully embroidered. They're a bit hefty. So I try to use more light fabrics, more flowing fabrics.
Mr. Sahadev Singh said he's booked months in advance for weddings and even during this auspicious time.
What I offer is a unique service which I tapped into, which is groom dressing and turban tying. So it had when I realized it happened by accident actually, because my good friend and I they were getting married, and they were non-Hindus and they were getting married to one of their Hindu brides. So they wasn't too comfortable with the Indian way, like how to do it. And I started, and when they knew the look, and I realized that looking at other people wedding pictures, I realized that so many people focus on the bride. Yes, we know it's her day, but when you look at pictures, I try to provide that balance.
But he said he has seen a boost in male clientele for that unique Indian wear.
Yes. Actually, the male clientele I'm having starts to supersede the females because they want that unique look, and there's a lot of variety in female ethnic wear as compared to the males. So a lot of males they want that unique look, but they just want that, but they can't find it elsewhere. So they come to me, and we get that as best as possible for them.
And there continues to be a demand for his products year-round, noting a constant uptick during this Diwali season.
Some celebrate Diwali on a religious aspect. Some celebrate Diwali as a celebration. So it's basically how you get at it. So some people would wear more of the modest look because they were welcome guests, they welcome God, they do the pujas, they do all the prayers and stuff. Some people would like to dress up because even though they are non-Hindus, they still celebrate along. They respect everything.
Mr. Sahadev Singh, who also does sari draping, said it is something he's considering teaching the art form soon. Sonal Lala, TTT News.
Meanwhile, Minister in the Office of the Prime Minister, Communications, Simon De Nobrega, is satisfied that the team at TTT Limited did all in their remit to rectify the issue of a drop in broadcast feed for the NCIC Diwali Nagar on Saturday. In a media release, the minister also corrected a false narrative that the feed dropped at the moment when opposition leader Kamla Prasad Bissasa's address was set to commence. Minister De Nobrega pointed out that on Saturday at 8:23 p.m., there was a network connection failure, where just over a half hour later at 8:58 p.m. is when the opposition leader's 14-minute speech began. Connection, he said, was re-established at 9:23 p.m., 11 minutes after the opposition leader's speech ended. The minister assured, though, that TTT followed all protocols following the drop in broadcast feed in immediately notifying the National Council for Indian Culture, the NCIC, along with notifying its viewing audience of the disruption, and sought to remedy the situation by publishing the entire uninterrupted broadcast on its online platform. Stay with us. We've got more news and your evolving energy after a short break.
Disasters can happen at any time, and seconds can be the difference between life and death. To alert citizens in times of national emergencies, a public alert notification system, PANS, is being implemented in Trinidad and Tobago. The Office of Disaster Preparedness and Management, ODPM, aims to reduce the impact of unprecedented public and national disruptions. When you sign up for this public alert notification system, you can receive information anyplace, anytime about potential hazards, crises, emergencies, or disasters. To join the ODPM in helping us to save lives and reduce property damage, go to www.odpm.gov.tt/PANS and sign up so that you and your loved ones can receive national emergency alerts. Alerting you, alerting TNT. PANS, stay safe, sign up.
You are dearer to me than all the stars. So many wish but never reach. 'Cause when I'm falling and all the world seems dark, you help me find my peace. Oshun mi ba vishani. Oshun mi ba Oshun mi ba vishani. Arubita, yeah, 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 yeah.
Welcome back. The new agreement for the restructured Atlantic LNG took effect on October 1st, marking 25 years since the first cargo of liquefied natural gas departed from the plant. This week's Evolving Energy takes a look into the rooms where these deals were negotiated.
In the halls of power, industry, and government, not everyone gets to penetrate the inner workings of high-powered negotiations. But Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley offered a glimpse into the 5 years of consistent, dogged negotiations that led to the restructuring of one of this country's major assets, the Atlantic Liquefied Natural Gas Plant in Point Fortin. Dr. Rowley noted that although the concept for the plant originated with the state, there was a lack of confidence and financing for what was, at the time, seen as a risky endeavor.
Come train 4, we got 11% in train 4. So you had this strange structure of a business with a government shareholding of 10% in train 1, 11% in train 4, and nothing in trains 2 and 3.
The Prime Minister indicated that the majority shareholders, BP and Shell, were happy with the ownership structure.
As the volume of gas began to become reduced, both in practice and in vision, we knew that we were vulnerable. Because those who had shareholding in trains 2 and trains 3 at 100% had an interest in a reduced gas production environment to have train 1 out of the picture.
The main producer of gas in Trinidad and Tobago is BP.
We had to keep our place on the table, and the ownership in train 1 kept us on the table. But what do we do on the table? Just acknowledge that they are owners of trains 2, 3, and trains 4, you only have 10%, or we set about to change the entire picture, restructure the industry, and get ourselves involved in trains 2 and 3 and train 4.
The Prime Minister said negotiations had to be undertaken with each shareholder on an individual basis.
And there was significant resistance. Some people said, oh, the contract doesn't make provision for that. And others said, I'm listening. And then eventually, after a few of these meetings in The Hague, in London, in Amsterdam, in Houston, One party said, I hear you. And the second party eventually said, I hear you. And I knew we were making progress.
Shell held 54%, while BP had a 40% stake in Atlantic LNG's trains 2, 3, and 4.
And at that stage, we set about to establish what we call empowerment teams, a government team of experts and a business team of experts to talk about this conversation. And I knew that there were possibilities for success.
And today, the ownership structure across all 4 trains is BP and Shell have a 45% stake in each train, as the National Gas Company of Trinidad and Tobago holds the remaining 10%. I am Terry Ann Brown Campbell, and this is Evolving Energy.